Well, Linda, that's quite the introduction because Linda is going to update us on WCS. Let's give here. Now we got that working. Let's hear it again, John. Linda Brown.
Okay, so this is going to be a 10-minute update on World Community Service. The first thing we're going to do is show a video of the student program that is in Guatemala that we've been supporting for a few years. The program was, well, we were introduced to a Rotary down there through Ron Warland on one of his missions. And we have found it very worthwhile and have continued to support it, as has Ron and Darren and Kelly Rabasapor personally. So for new members who are not too familiar with our past projects in World Community Service, just a brief background. We started going on travel projects in around 2015, I think. And of course, we broke during COVID. In the past 2 years, we've traveled to Puerto Rico to install clean water systems for 300 families. And in Ecuador, just this year, to plant trees for economic benefit to 5 indigenous communities in the Amazon. Looking ahead, we have projects in Mexico and Guatemala this year. And my message today after the video is to talk about those projects. We have 3 travel opportunities this year. On your tables are a couple flyers about the trips that anyone could pretty much go on. So John, with that, could you start the video? And there are subtitles. It's in Spanish, but it's all about the program that they do. And this is Redalú, Guatemala.
Yo me llamo Bilder Vicente Cabrera Vázquez y la aldea es Orsorbit.
La escuela solo era una galera.
So he just said this school used to be a shed.
Afortunadamente, ya cuando el Club Rotario empezó a apoyarnos a ver la necesidad acá, pues ya ellos
Club
dijeron
saw a need to build a new school.
esas 3 aulas.
También, bendito sea Dios, nos construyeron la cocina y también nos construyeron lo que son los
They
baños.
thank God that they also built a kitchen and bathroom.
Estoy laborando en la escuela Cantón Pajales, poderles enseñar lo más que uno puede y con amor, porque lo necesitan bastante también.
Agradecerle al club y a los donadores del club por la batería de baños que hicieron completo, se hicieron una cisterna subterránea
and for a
para
bathroom
suplir las
and an
necesidades de
underground
los servicios
cistern.
sanitarios.
Hay bastante niño que tiene mucha necesidad económica, los padres.
The parents of these children are in great
La
financial need.
escuelita cuando muy inició no tenían nada, eran galeritas con tarrito, nos apoyaron en lo que es infraestructura, las primeras aulas que fueron construidas en el 2015, nos apoyaron nuevamente en el 2017 con 3 aulas y
The
cocina,
classrooms were
también
built in
baños.
2007.
Doctora, va a ser un oficial de policía, maestra.
Futbolista. Esta idea la tomamos para hacer un programa integral. Se les hace entrega de una bolsa de víveres. Están pensados los alimentos.
They're talking about the food
y les
baskets
ayudan.
that this club provides to them.
Arroz, proteínas, mosh, y en caparín, huevo. Ahí viene el cartón de huevo. A él pide su comida.
Quiero estudiar, trabajar de enfermera.
He wants to
Le
work at the
agradezco
nurse.
mucho por todo esto. Que Dios lo bendiga.
And he's very thankful.
apoyando. Gracias por el apoyo.
Programas de educación, programas de nutrición, llevar agua y salud. Y es por eso que hoy por hoy tenemos ya alrededor de 64 becados desde hace muchos
Buen
años.
día, mi nombre es Karen Noemí Mazariegos Hernández. Realmente gracias a Dios y a ustedes por brindarme el apoyo en lo que fue mi ciclo escolar. Y gracias a ustedes pude lograr esa meta que tenía y pude graduarme.
Another
Poder
student
lograr
thanking
lo
us.
que
He's about to
antes
graduate.
decía que no se iba a poder, pero ahora sí lo está viviendo.
Soy rotario desde hace 25 años y soy odontólogo de profesión. He decidido darle cobertura
the dentist,
odontológica a todos
they do
estos
provide health
niños,
checks for all the students
extracciones,
once a year.
tratamientos de canales, mientras Dios me lo permita, siga siendo Rotario. Este programa lo seguiremos brindando.
Mi sueño es ser el perito y contador. Con ese apoyo que me dan, son tareas, proyectos escolares, y gracias a Dios he salido adelante.
Pudimos entregarles a cada uno de los niños una mochila, un par de zapatos, útiles escolares, frijol, arroz, avena, incaparina, protemás, leche. Todas estas cosas nosotros sabemos que a ellos van a ayudar. Que el día de
Besides
mañana
education, they give them nutritional
tengamos no
supplements.
solo 65 niños, sino pensar en muchos más. Y pues invitar a las personas que estén interesadas a apoyarnos, porque para nosotros sería algo muy lindo para poder hacer
And they
crecer
hope to
este
grow the
programa.
program. So I'm going to take you through some slides. I have a real time limit, so I'm going to try and go through them real quickly. So we have 3 travel trips this year, and the first one will be to visit this program in Redalú, Guatemala. We haven't been back to Guatemala since before COVID. This is the 3rd project date later in the year, but it will be our primary project as a group. So we're hoping to get 7 to 11 Rotarians to go with us to do a site visit and some project work as the Rotary finds for us when we get down there. We're looking right now at March 25th to 30th because it falls in line with some spring breaks and a couple people are planning to bring their kids or grandkids. So in terms of the program, Guatemala rates really poorly in terms of education. If you don't know that, the country faces significant challenges on pretty much every measure of education. And the reason that I personally really support this program is that often the kids in Guatemala, education is free, but what they get isn't great. But by the time they're 10, 11 years old, if their families have financial pressure, the kids go to work and they stop school and they work out in the fields, and that's where they'll be for the rest of their lives. So this program works citywide in the city of Redalú, which is about the size of Medford, and they have applications in all the schools, and the kids do have to perform. There were a few that were removed from the program this year, but I think when we started this a couple of years ago, there were 50 kids and now there's 65 kids. And when a kid gets in the program, whatever age, if they're 5, 11, 15, they're promised graduation if they fulfill their requirements. Okay, so that's the first one on the flyers on your table. The second one is Cozumel, Mexico. Yeah, there we go. And this is also a district grant funded project this year. This was actually our primary grant, but there's not a lot of need for us to go down there. We are looking for 1 to 3 people to go down, conduct a site visit and help them build some raised garden beds in a community garden. The program is training kids how to garden and grow food. And the reason that, and we're working directly with the Rotary on the island of Cozumel. The reason this is important is during COVID, the tourist ships and planes quit coming and no one knew how to grow food anymore. And so some of the older Rotarians wanted to put this project together. We're following on top of a global grant done by a Grants Pass Club that is collecting rainwater, filtering it so that the kids have, for the first time, clean water in a couple schools. And it also can support, one of the schools has some extra acreage. And so they decided to do this garden, and it's in a middle school, and the kids and their families can learn to garden. The principal of the school is also a Rotarian, and he's making sure that the program is happening and getting people familiar with growing their own food again in case something else happens. So we have one person in the club who has spoken about having interest. This won't be a group visit, but it can be negotiated in terms of date, like maybe November to January. But if you have any interest in going down there, it's a beautiful place, great place to take a vacation. So The third project is something new, and it's not out of our club, but I'm just going to put it out there. And if anybody's interested, I have a lot more information on this. This is in Guadalajara, Mexico. It's run by some Rotarians out of Mississippi. They take 30 to 50 people a year down on this project, and they're working with a Rotary in Guadalajara. And I have a whole packet of information, but if anybody wants to go, and because the dates are set from January 31st to February 7th. And it's pretty well structured. You're broken into smaller teams and sent about the city under the supervision of the Rotary down there. So, okay. And then I wanted to just take a minute to do a final report on the Ecuador Food Forest project that a number of us went down to in, I guess, late March and early April. I think 7 of us from the club went. And very briefly, I'm just going to read some points from our final report to the district on this. Our club provided $4,000 donation, which was meant to plant 2,000 cacao trees. In total, over 2,900 trees were planted. This benefited 49 families and 200 people in the Amazon forest. The primary benefits were economic. The price of cacao is up 7 to 10 times in the past 4 years. And 2,000 trees will produce about 10,000 pounds of cacao annually. This will result in $35,000 to $45,000 in income for very poor communities that make very little income. So thank you all for your support of our funding for rural community service. And then finally, and I don't have a slide for this, there's going to be some people also speaking who have gone on these trips during Sergeants, and I am not going to speak again, but I just wanted to say I've been on 3 trips since 2018, have been involved in rural community service all the years I've been a member of this club. And the main thing that comes to mind for me is appreciation to Rotary for creating an environment that allowed me to serve those in need around the world. Because I know that I wouldn't have been able to participate if Rotary didn't support those kind of efforts. So thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
as I say, it's my pleasure to introduce, but now Chris has been up here twice already. It's my pleasure to reintroduce our speaker today, formally District Governor for 5110, Chris Waugh.
Oregon's rural
Chris Waugh
communities.
brings a unique blend of
Congressman
business
Cliff
savvy
Vance.
and adventurous
He
spirit to
represents
her role as
Oregon's
District Governor.
sprawling 20
Her background includes
county-wide
both business
area,
admin and hang gliding.
encompassing much of eastern,
hang gliding.
central,
She
and
started her
southern
Rotary journey
Oregon,
in
including
1987
Medford.
when she joined the Newport Rotary
Congressman
Club
Vance
and soon served as
combines
its
a
first
deep
woman president.
personal and professional
In 2000,
roots
she
in
left
his area
corporate management
with
to
a
launch her
passion
own
for
business
addressing
consulting
its
firm.
most pressing
Later, a
challenges.
move to the Willamette Valley
Before
was meant
election
to be
to Congress
retirement.
in 2020,
That didn't
Congressman
last.
Vance served in
Soon
both
she returned to
our
coaching and
Oregon
consulting,
House
focusing
and
on
Senate.
leadership development.
In his current role
Chris joined the
in
Eugene
Congress, he serves
Southtown
on
Rotary
2
Club and served
influential
as president
committees,
during COVID.
the House
She
Natural
launched 2
Resource
satellite
Committee,
clubs, one
where
in a
he's
retirement
involved in
village
work on
and another for
water,
working professionals.
federal lands,
As
wildlife,
the
and
district member
fisheries,
chair, she hosted
and the
monthly
House
membership
Judiciary
forums on
Committee,
Zoom to
which
engage and
includes
support
issues
Rotarians across
in
the
the
district.
courts,
Chris
intellectual
is now
properties,
proud to serve as our
regulatory oversight.
2025-2026
Additionally, his
district governor.
subcommittee work on
With that, I write a monthly newsletter called On the Fly with Chris Waugh. Everything I do is about flying and flying by the seat of my pants. And I have to be pretty good at it. As a matter of fact, today, well, let me back up. I don't have a speech. Sorry. False advertising. So I give the presidents a menu of options of what you would like me to talk about. Oh, membership, marketing, how to use AI has been very popular. District leadership positions and what goes on behind the scenes. You know, it's like Wizard of Oz. You pull back the curtain. What goes on at the district and the international level? And then I say anything else. Well, that's the one George picked. And he says, I want you to talk about your personal experience with World Community Service. And so I told him this morning, I don't have any. My schedule hasn't allowed me to. However, Nancy Hughes, who is in my club, started Stove Team International, probably heard of it, And through that and through our other club World Community Service projects, I'm pretty familiar with them. But I just wanted to be full disclosure. I can't speak from my own heart, but I can offer some other thoughts. When you're preparing to be a district governor, they make you give a 2-minute speech. And Michelle's going through that. And over the next 2 years, she will refine her 2-minute speech and give it when she is governor-elect. Well, I've given mine a few times, and now it's a 3-minute speech. You know how when you catch a fish, you're a fisherman, somebody says a fisherman, you catch a fish and it's this big and you're talking about your fish, and then what happens the next time you talk about that fish? Well, that's what happened to my 3-minute speech. But my 3-minute speech is about why Rotary. When we were starting our second satellite, I wanted to make it for young professionals because I thought we didn't really, they couldn't come to noon meetings. So I thought that would be a good target demographic, except for I wanted to join it. So I called it professionals instead of young professionals. Lisa was thinking about joining. And Lisa says, why Rotary? And I said, well, we're the biggest, largest service network in the world. Together, we join forces and we make a huge impact around the world, in our own communities, and in ourselves. I mean, I said that so well, I could hear the violins in the background. She said, so? Well, that kind of popped my bubble. She said, Chris, in Eugene, Oregon alone, there are 2,200 nonprofits. They all have passionate people leading them. They all have worthy causes. They all need money and they all need volunteers. Yet I got to pay to be a Rotarian. Why Rotary? She says, where does my dues go? Well, here's what I was thinking, Lisa. Your dues go to the cost of being a club. Our club pays district dues, international dues. We have QuickBooks. We might have some tech support. We might do marketing. We get badges. Basically, your dues go to support the cost of doing business. But was I going to go back and say that to a potential member? So I thought, what else could I say? And that's when I thought about my why Rotary. In my club alone, according to our financial statements, every dollar that you pay in dues, we turn around and put out $4.50 in service projects, in scholarships, and in community support around the world as well as in our own backyard. That's a 450% return on investment. Are there any financial types here besides the banker? That's pretty good, right? How do we do it? We do it through our grants. We do it through our partnerships. We do it through our fundraisers. We do it through major donor status, Mike. And that's what sets Rotary apart. When people ask why Rotary, it's because nobody leverages their resources the way Rotarians do. So if you want to make a big impact, you get involved in Rotary. She joined. She was a tough cookie, though. Now, Mike, we were talking about when we gave you your major donor that you may never see the people that you impact until they showed the movie. You saw some of them, didn't you? That one kid was choking up when he says, I want to be a nurse. I want to help people. This is the way we build peace on earth. It's like that old starfish story. You're not saving the whole planet, but you're saving one relationship at a time. And that's truly the way we do make change that we want to see. I liked what I heard about you get to know your fellow members better too, because we all have a similar Rotary heart that brought us to join, right? Nobody, well, actually, that's not true. Some people join because they want to build their network, but then they get involved in the service projects and they get sucked into it because it feels so good to give. Doesn't it? Who disagrees? I didn't think so. There's a reality check to it. I liked what you said about, you know, how privileged we are. And we might have, you know, I have bad hair days all the time. And I get really hung up worrying about how my hair looks because it looks sucky most of the time. Put that in perspective, Chris. You know, it's not about your hair. It's what about the impact we make in the world. And that's what makes Rotary so special. So what is your aspiration for your next community service project? I see you're going to go to, let me get this out. Linda, I'm not going to say this right, okay? Ratal Huli, yeah. Help. The city in Guatemala. That is so precious and that's so important. And you're going to go back down and revisit it to rekindle that relationship. That's so cool. The Cozumel one, not quite such a big exchange, but a few select people bringing back those stories, pretty impactful. And Guadalajara. What's next for you, for the Medford Road Rotary? What do you envision? Where's your next impact going to be? Take 5 seconds, now I'll give you a minute, and talk about it at your table. If you could guide the club in its next World Community Service project, where might it be? What's your passion? I'll give you a minute. Ten more seconds. And then I want to hear what they are. Okay, where's our mic people? Is that the right title? Where's our mic people? Let's start debriefing. You can start with that back table and then you can come up to this one. What'd you guys come up with? Oh, you're one of the mic people. You have to. What did you come up with?
Well, we really did not discuss it a lot, but I would really like to see a program where we can reconnect with the Hispanic community in the county, just because that was a great thing about the basketball program we had.
Ah, might not be around the world. It might be right here. Good thought. How about here? It's not a hot potato. It's not on. There you go.
Why not leverage our money right here in the local community if there are projects that will qualify as rural community service?
Love it.
I understand there are some, so let's leverage our money right here.
I asked for a place. Medford's a place. Okay, let's see. Let's go back here.
So we're leveraging right here in Medford with Winter in Candyland is coming up for its third year in late January, 1st of February. And last year we had 4,000 people attend. We've had to increase our days of opening for this to be 3 days instead of 2 in order to get at least 5,000 kiddos through there. It's a free event that Family Nurturing Center and our Rotary Club started. And we just keep continuing with that collaboration. I was just sharing with Kelly in the table here that the Tiger Den at the Innovation Academy that we are supporting have just come back to answer my proposal. They are going to be building the King Candy throne and the pedestal that the throne goes on. And we're going to increase that into going out to the Home Depot to ask them to collaborate with us as well to provide all the materials, and then giving back credit to Rotary and Innovation Academy and the Family Nurturing Center and building a free event and growing it to the families here.
You know what else you do by working on your projects here is you give yourself a lot of promotional potential and membership attraction potential too, because people here want to get involved here. That's usually what attracts people in the first place. How about you?
Yeah, so Nancy shared about Rotary experience at a previous club, going to Cambodia and doing some work with orphanages there. Ended up adopting a child from there and helping him have a successful, fulfilling life. And it made me think about when we've traveled to Mexico and visited orphanages for kids with special needs, since that's kind of my life's work. And just seeing the lack of opportunities available for kids in other countries who experience significant disabilities and what that means for their life. And maybe there's opportunity to look into those types of things in the future.
Awesome. Are we back here?
Oh, yes, I mentioned in my table that I thought it would be cool to partner with another local club who has a maternal and child health project in Africa that I heard about at a district grants meeting a while back. There's a district grants meeting coming up this weekend.
Yes, there is.
So I just thought that sounded like a really neat project, women and children in Africa. So I like the idea of partnering with other clubs so that we can multiply our grant dollars even faster, and many hands make light work. So
I love that. The president of our club this year is from Uganda. So that's very near and dear to her heart. And this club right here.
Yeah, I guess I'd like to build on the 3 tables that suggest keeping the community service local possibly. And at the Rogue Retreat at the crossing, it's called, we now have 160 units where homeless can go and get shelter. And there's 40 or 50 more on the drawing board. And just this morning we had a meeting where we're going to build a big shade shelter for outdoor cooking. So there'll be some opportunities, I think, for this club to participate in more tiny house builds. We've done quite a few at Hope Village and at the Crossing. So I'll be presenting. Actually, I'll be introducing Sam, who's the head of Rogue Retreat here in a month or two when we get a slot, and he'll be talking about this. So I'd vote. We did go for Hawaii first, but then we got serious.
Oh, good for you. I love the big ideas that come out of Rotarians, and I love the fact that, you know, there's turbulence out there. There's a lot of problems we have, but in the turbulence, I tell you from hang gliding, that's where the opportunities are. You don't find thermals without finding turbulence. So just look at them in the face and fly right into them. Lean into that. Because you know what? I don't think you've peaked yet. Thank you.